Hello everyone, this is Plunkera, and welcome to my universe. Last time I started rendering out the hair. I think it looks pretty good, but I have decided that I actually want all of my light little lines to be thicker. Which means I have to go over them again. Art is hard! I was a little bit sad when I realized that. Anyway, just to make sure that I am happy with this decision, I decided that it would be a good idea to make this change on a new layer. So this way, if I decide I don't like it, I can just undo it and there's no problems. So, let's make these lines a little bit thicker. And as tends to happen when I actually start rendering things, might go a little bit crazy. Because that does tend to be how I feel when the rendering starts. Because, man, there tends to be a lot to do. And it's all just so simple and so very brain dead. But I gotta get through it all. I gotta do the thing. No way around it. So, yes. Gotta go back over the hair. Make it all look nice. Oh, nope. Not there. Here. And I will try to make as many of these changes as I can on my new layer, just in case I decide I don't like it and I change my mind again. These things happen often. It is one of the many reasons I tend to be a little bit slow at drawing. So I'll do a few strands like this. I'll probably do like maybe all of her front hair here and decide if I like that. I think I like the idea of like some of these tiny hairs. Yeah, you can see where my mouse is. Just some of the little tiny ones still being really thin. But the others, I would like to add a little bit more thickness to those lines. And I plan to do the same on her eyes too, but I mean, eyes were just... Somebody asked me about what I was planning on doing, and I wanted to show it, so I did a little bit with the eyes. This already was never going to be what they look like 100%. But I think I want the lines to be thicker there too, so... And while I want them to taper off a little bit at the top, I do not really want them to be... what you would typically see in line art. I want them to be more of a consistent width. It is supposed to be more like stained glass, which, you know, might also explain why I want the lines to be a little bit thicker. But one of the reasons that I wanted to draw this was because I wanted to experiment with the style more. Develop it a little bit further and see what kind of things I liked with it. So, that also means that it's just, I mean, it makes sense that I might end up wanting to change some things. And that it might take me a couple of tries in order to figure out exactly what I would like. That's alright, this is the time to do it. Just gotta keep trying things. No, I just want to smooth all this out. As usual, I don't normally draw line art, so getting smooth lines still kind of eludes me, so I just treat them like I would any block of color. And I'll just go back and adjust the thickness manually, it's fine. I can do it. I'm used to it. I have done similar things many a time. Many a time. That said, I do still want it to kind of taper off at the top. I think having it be just flat would look a little bit strange. Some of these strands might end up being a little bit thinner. Just like I said, I wanted these tiny little guys coming off. I don't think I want this one to be quite as thick as this one, but I still want it to be kind of thick. I want it to have presence. So this will probably be what I end up doing for a couple of hours. I'll go through and do all these lines, and yeah, then I'll go in and put the colors in proper. All right, right now we're just having her hair inverted and thus green. So this way I can see these light lines a little bit better. Green is a little bit of a darker color, so I just think it makes it a little bit easier for me to see while I'm trying to be all precise and stuff. Man, my hand does not want to hold this pen today. Let me see if I can get it comfortable. Okay, there we go. Thumb just feels like it's in a bit of a strange spot. My body was kind of like that earlier. I was watching some stuff on the couch with my husband, and I could not get comfortable. It was the worst. I think part of that is just I didn't sleep very well. Because for some reason, somebody decided it was a good idea to light fireworks. I don't know, man! Middle of June seems like the perfect time to light fireworks. Especially in my area, where it's known to get very dry, and fireworks are a huge fire hazard. But what do I know? And that's not even me just not being awake at normal people hours. It was done at like 9 o'clock. Like, they had to wait for the sun to go down. So I am perhaps a little bit sleepy. Might make me a little bit punchier than usual. And the fact that I am rendering on top of that, oh, that's a terrible combination. I get the feeling this is just gonna be one of those days where I'm amused by everything. So this strand, it kind of straddles the line between small strand and normal strand, so I'm still making it a little bit thicker. Thinner than the one next to it, but still kind of thick. We'll give it some presence. All the way through. And once again, I lament, why must anime characters have so much hair? This was the bane of my existence when rigging Shalom, and now it's just like, oh no, I'm drawing more anime. That means hair for days. It's alright, I have drawn many a hair, so I can draw many more. And I'll get through it. I just might complain a little bit. I tend to do that when I am rendering hair. Because hair is what it is. Man, I'm kind of worried that I'm making these widths a little bit too variable. I'll say how it looks when I zoom out, but I don't want to be zooming in and out constantly because I find that annoying. Not just as a viewer of speed paints, but as a drawer of digital art. I don't like zooming in and out constantly. I hold my pen with my right hand, and I use my mouse with my right hand. So, I use the same hand, so I have to take my hand away every time I want to zoom in and out. And I hate it. It's one of those minor things that you wouldn't think really affects anything, but it kind of does, actually. It's weird. I thought about getting one of those tools, I forget what they're called, that just have like a bunch of buttons that you're supposed to stick next to your work area there, and you use that instead of keyboard shortcuts and stuff. But, I think this is fine. I just haven't really felt the need for it. I'm kind of satisfied with how I have all my shortcuts laid out and all that good stuff. So it's all working for me. This one I kind of have to get a little bit thinner on just so it shows some of the pink through there, because I do want a little bit to show there. And I think I want to taper this off a little bit more nicely. There we go. There we go. Alright, time for some more thick lines. But honestly, now that a lot of the decisions have been made and I'm just kind of going over lines I've already drawn, it's not as bad. Right now, I'm still just thinking of the fact that somebody thought it was a good idea to randomly light fireworks at nighttime when even normal people are trying to sleep. It's like rude. It's so rude, man. Honestly, I'm just kind of glad that my neighborhood leans older, so I don't normally have to deal with a bunch of, like, random loud music or anything. Even during the day. That's been nice. I've actually been able to sleep decently well, even with my bizarro sleep schedule, so it's worked out. Mostly. Part of me is actually a little bit sad that I have to fix it, but it's for the best. And I'm kind of looking forward to my entire family being up at the same time. Because right now, my husband and I are up at the same time a little bit in the middle of the night. And then, he goes to bed, I do a bunch of stuff on my own. That's when I stream, for example. And then I get the kids up, and we do stuff, and then I go to bed, and their dad gets up. So they actually have not seen us awake at the same time for a very long time. It's one of those funny things, but it worked out really well for a while. It's just... now, with one of my kids starting school, we kind of all need to be up at the same time. It's hard to be a normal person again. Be up when the sun is up. Alright, so once I finish kind of thicken up the strand on this strand, I'm gonna go ahead and hide her face again. I think it is a little bit easier to see. No, not the eyelashes, the eyes, all of it. All of it must leave. But yes, I think it's a little bit easier to see. Just because those lines are light, And I still need to figure out how to make them more visible if I deem it as necessary. It might not be. I don't know yet. But I do want these lines to be nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. As you can see, I do not have a particularly steady hand, so it's fine. It's totally fine. Sometimes I just have to make a bunch of manual adjustments to it, and I'm wondering if I have to wash my drawing glove or something. Or maybe even the tablet itself, because my hand keeps getting stuck. It's not gliding across super smoothly like I'm used to. Or maybe I'm just having a weird day, because like I said, I could not get comfortable for the life of me when I was sitting on the couch today. It just wasn't working. And even the pen feels weird in my hands. Some days are just strange. See, this is why you ask me. What if I exist? I don't know. That's my answer. I'm not sure. Something is clearly happening. There seems to be some kind of consciousness happening here. But I don't know if it's what we call existence or not. And I've felt that way for a while. Because sometimes it just feels like there's a bug in the system and things just aren't working right. And then I'm just like, huh. Well, that's weird. Okay, so there's some front hair. I'm gonna go ahead and turn some layers on, turn her hair pink again. And I guess I'll give her her face too. I want to see how that all looks before I go ahead and go do the rest. I'm gonna zoom out so I can see the whole picture. And let's compare that to what I had before. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. I think it might be a little bit too thick though. I think there's a middle ground. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take it back a little. And you know what? I didn't update Krita. Well, so I guess I'll be dealing with that bug I've been complaining about for a while now. Or sometimes it just takes me back down to the first layer and I don't know why. It's very mysterious. I told you, man, sometimes it feels like there's a bug in reality. Not even just here. But like I woke up this morning and I was looking up at the ceiling fan in my room. And you know, I wake up at 11 p.m. so everything was still dark. And on the ceiling fan there are these two little dangly ropes that you can use to start the fan. And for whatever reason, my vision just kept making one of them disappear. And I'm not sure why it was happening. And I'm just like, huh, look, reality broke again. God really ought to do something about that. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and hide the highlights. I think it's a little bit easier to work like this. I'm not gonna invert the colors though, this is fine. I can actually see it pretty clearly now. So let's see, how does that compare with what I had originally? Yeah, that's still noticeably thicker. So hopefully this will be a nice middle ground, and I will have the thickness that I want. And you know, as I get more familiar with this particular style, I will not have to kind of keep experimenting with what is the proper thickness. I'll just know. Just gotta get familiar with it. Yes. Very important. But that is the purpose of experiments like this. And it's funny because what made me pick Yuyuko here was I just remembered what the butterflies in her fighting game sprites looked like. And I thought that would be a really good match for this particular style. And I have not even drawn the butterflies yet. It's like I noted them briefly at the beginning, but that's about the extent of what I've done. And I just think that's kind of funny. Okay, no, her eyes are kind of in the way, so... Which is also making her head kind of in the way, so... Still gotta hide those. I do need to be able to see the edges clearly. And if I decide that they are not visible enough in the final version, I can do something about that. I'll probably end up doing something like what I did up here, where I just add a really dark spot around it, because that actually looked pretty good. I approve. I might end up rendering her hat soon, actually, just because I kind of want to experiment with that a little bit more, too. Honestly, I've had the urge to work on this, like, all day. So normally I would use Sunday for more gaming, but I might use it for more drawing this week. We'll see how I feel. Because I am also enjoying Ender Lilies. But I also kind of want to draw. Choices are hard. Opportunity cost continues to be my greatest enemy. I wish I had unlimited time. Just go do all the things. Alright, there's about half the hair adjusted. So now I'll get the other half, and I can see if I like this better. Yeah, it's probably about half as thick. It might still take me a couple more tries to get the exact thickness I want, though. I just gotta see it, and in order to see it, I have to try it with enough of these parts to know whether or not I like it. So that's why I'm just getting the entire front. The sides I can get when the time is right. Basically, once I know what I want it to look like. It'll at least save me a little bit of effort rather than going over the whole thing again. I'm realizing that last time when I just did all of it, I probably should have done it in smaller chunks, like I'm doing now. But I was a little overconfident and a little overeager. Also very normal for me. Yes. So I am paying a little bit for that, but you know, it's fine. It's better than leaving it in a state that I'm not quite happy with. Yeah, and it's looking like I'm gonna end up adjusting some of the originals as well, but that is fine. Nothing is set in stone. I mean, this is exactly why, for me, the distinction between sketching and rendering is very thin. Because I just put some stuff down, and then I refine it some more, and I refine it again, and I refine it till I can't refine it no more. And I have a picture I'm happy with. Basically what it amounts to. That said, I do find myself wanting to get a little bit better at a proper sketching phase. Because I feel like I can get my ideas down pretty well, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer than I would like. And have I mentioned the dreaded opportunity cost? Where I only have limited time. Limited time that I can do stuff. And thus, I kinda want to speed up certain parts of my process. I want to be able to make more things. It'll be fantastic. Okay. Let's go give her her head again. And her eyes. And I will take a look. See if this thickness is better. How do I feel about it now? Okay, I think this one's good. I think this one's good, so I'm gonna carry this thickness to the rest of the hair over here and the little bits over here, and then I will, you know, go do the rest of her hair over there. And I can just finish up the rendering this. The hair in the back will come later. It's like way back there, it's fine, it doesn't have to be done yet. It's totally fine. But this time I'm gonna go back to being particular about things, so that means I am inverting her hair color. And I'll go ahead and merge those. So I can just refine this to my heart's content. I had it mostly correct, but there were a few spots that I felt were a little bit blobby and kind of ugly. So I wanted to go back over them real quick. Make them nice. Make this part a little bit thinner. Just all kinds of little things. Look, I will always be very particular about everything I draw. It is my nature. Perfectionism is terrible sometimes. Okay, there we go. I wasn't quite satisfied with a little bit of that hair. But now I think it is much better. So now I'll just go back to painting it freely. I guess I just arbitrarily decided to start with this side this time. But you know what? I'm okay with that because there's not much hair on this side. At least not until I get to the layer on top here. Up there. That's the part that's still pink. Because that's where most of the hair on this side is. So I'm just going to finish this side very quickly and it'll be great. Sometimes it's nice just to do something that's a little bit easy. Work my way up toward those harder parts. Alright, how are we doing everywhere else? And I do want to keep the lines all relatively consistent weight. Not a lot of tapering. This isn't meant to be line art. This is meant to be stained glass. That is how I see it in my head. And I think that distinction is important because I am breaking all kinds of line art rules and I don't care. It is so not the point. Going through this is definitely giving me more appreciation for people that do line art, though. I never will. This is gonna be the closest I ever get. I like my lineless style. I think it is very nice. And I prefer lining my blobs of color. Okay, yeah, I think that's good for all the parts here. You know, here's a little bit ugly. Let's go ahead and smooth this out just a tad. But then yes, I think I am officially ready to move on to the rest of her hair. And part of it is not even the line layer's fault. There's just like a little blob here that's kinda unpleasant. There we go. And while I'm over here, I might as well fix this tip. I was just kind of ignoring it before. There we go. No problem. And then I just want to make sure that this line actually kind of exists everywhere on this strand. It's going to be super thin because he's just a little guy. He's just a tiny little strand there. Just a tiny little one. But nonetheless, I want even the tiny little ones to get at least a little bit of a presence. Okay, so now I've already made all the big decisions here and everything looks pretty alright, so I just need to make those lines a little bit thicker. So hopefully it'll be a little bit faster than it was yesterday. And I could even go back and fix certain shapes of hair that I don't like. I can just go back and fix everything that's bothering me. Anything I see. Oh, this one doesn't look half bad, but I can make the top a little bit better. And I was also debating if I wanted to kind of put in some more smaller strands, you know, maybe something like this at some point, which, or even just kind of, you know, more small strands like this. But I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's fine the way it is. I might still divide it up like this later, just because I do think that this kind of thing looks nice when it's done right. It looked absolutely fantastic on the clouds in my channel header image. I really, really liked it. But I think I have other ideas for that, and I think I would like to add the first layer of color before I start getting into all that. That's very possible today. Might just be science with hair. Where I try to figure out what hair-related things I enjoy. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I am totally fine with that. Anything around her face deserves a ton of effort, so I am totally cool with just going into that. Okay, let's get this little guy while I'm over here. I think he's mostly fine. But I just want to make sure that it is totally surrounded. And like I said, I want to make everything just like a touch thicker. But these little guys are still gonna have a pretty thin outline. There we go. And thus, my mind starts to wander as I venture into the abyss of anime hair and rendering it. Thinking about all kinds of things. My husband and I finished a second run of Satisfactory today. So now we're going in and watching a speedrun of it. Because we like watching speedruns. It is a very interesting way to optimize games. And you do some very silly things. The Satisfactory speedrun is already hilarious. The guy unlocked warp tubes. I forget what their technical term is in the game. But yes, just the long tubes that you can kind of ride in. And the physics in this game are pretty janky. So, the tubes there give you a ton of momentum so that you go fast through them. And the speedrunner's abusing this. Like, basically. I keep laughing because it's funny. So, he's abusing the sudden increase in momentum that you get from going through those tubes to launch himself into the air and get to places quickly that way. It's super funny. It might be the thing that you gotta have to see, but just watching him just go through this tube that's just launching him into the air, and then he just casually parachutes around the factory. It's pretty great. It's pretty funny. The two ways that he's getting around the factory is that, just launching himself in the air via tube. And then the other one is putting the hub in random places, and then basically killing himself so that he respawns where he put the hub. And man, you can get some distance doing that. It's pretty funny. Speedruns are great. It really makes you stretch how you think about mechanics in games. Just things that you never would have thought of in a million years. I can only hope that someday I make a game that people want to speedrun, and I can just have my mind blown. That sounds fantastic. Just being like, man, I never thought this mechanic could be used like that. That's awesome. Okay, almost there, at least with layer 1. I got, well, no, I still barely started this side, huh? I just keep telling myself that I'm already done, or almost done, because it makes me feel better about myself. That tends to be how rendering goes. It's just like, oh look, I have done a small patch. I am almost there. No, I'm not. I'm really not, but I'm coping, so it's fine. It's fine. All is well. Am I getting this the right width? I think I am. Up here might actually be a little bit thin in some places. Let me thicken this back up here. I'm trying to look over here, make sure I have it the right width. I don't mind if that strand in particular is a little bit thicker than the rest, just because it's like super prominent. So it makes sense in my head, but still, I want to try to get them relatively the same length. And then I think before I go in and start doing color, I'm gonna go and do the lines on the other group of hair. The part going over her hat. Gonna get that. I just think this part will be one of the more tedious parts, so I want to get it done, and then I can just kind of go through and play. And it'll be great. I will just look forward to that. And then, I can either do her hat if I feel like it, or I can finally go in and do her face and get her eyes and stuff, and that will also be fantastic. I can do what I want. I will probably end up doing her eyes first. Just because I have been wanting to render her face because I think it is super cute already, and rendering it will just make it even better. And then I can look at a super cute face while I do everything else. And that will just make everything so much easier. It does every time, and I know better than to underestimate the power of cute anime face. I have been using this power to motivate me into finishing my pictures for a long time. I know its strength. But we'll see what I feel like doing. And And you know, maybe I'll start one and decide, man, this is annoying me, let's go do something else. And that's fine too. I do that kind of thing all the time. And I mean, strictly speaking, I haven't even finished picking colors for her clothes. Or started getting all of those things in the right place and all that good stuff. I mean, strictly speaking, I should probably do all that before I start rendering out hair like this, but I just really wanted to work on her face. So I said, you know what, it's fine. It's totally fine. I'll do it later. That's something I can do. I can do things in whatever order I want, as long as it kind of works. Whatever keeps me motivated. But I gotta tell you, once I actually start liking the picture and enjoy looking at it, it becomes so much easier to work on. So that tends to be why my faces end up way more refined than everything else. Even though I find everything else just way harder to draw and therefore end up having to flail at it a little bit more, which inevitably makes it more refined. Flailing refines things. Go figure. But being able to have a cute face to look at just makes everything so much better. I did indeed find the prawn in Subnautica. It's all good. I found it. It just took me a little while, because I did not find my way into the Aurora when I should have. I missed the path. Actually, that might be a little bit too thick. Yeah, comparing this to that is definitely too thick. I better shave it off just a tad. Gotta get that thickness right. So I didn't quite like the way it looked when it was a little bit too thick, so I better make sure that all is well here, and that everything will look just the way I want it to. Wait, did I accidentally change the color? Nope, I have the right color. For some reason, it just looked greener to me down here. Okay, a little bit left. Little bit left. So this strand, do I want it to be thinner? No, I think I want it to be about the same length. I think this one should have about as much presence as the rest of them. It'll make it look a little bit flatter, which, I mean, I think normally would be a bad thing, but it's what I'm going for here, so it makes sense. I will be making it go back with color as opposed to line thickness here. Because right now I have her hair color inverted, so all the light parts are actually going to be the dark parts later. So this part will be dark. And I think that will do enough to make it go further into the background. It's kind of how stained glass does it. It's like it's some variability in line thickness, but not quite as much. Stained glass is pretty, though. I used to collect a bunch of stained glass things in my youth. So I'm kind of not surprised that I ended up making an art style inspired by it. I think it's really pretty, and you just put it up in your windows and let all the lights hit it, and then your entire room becomes colorful, and it is fantastic. It really is. Everything just becomes so pretty and so colorful. Okay, that seems about right. Is it too thick? Maybe a little. Yeah, I think it might be slightly too thick. Okay, let's go back over it one more time here. Just shave a little bit off. Because it is very, very important that I get this line thickness right. Otherwise, it won't look the way I want it to. I mean, I saw how big of a difference just a little bit of extra made when I was checking whether or not this one was right. This particular thickness. So let's just gently shave some of that off, and I think all will be well here. Ah, no, that's too much. I only want to get a little bit. Right about there. Yeah, that seems about right. I mean, I've mentioned before that I am not great with proportion, and matching up how thick something is here is similar. It's just because I cannot always gauge distances very well. It's also why I'm not great with perspective. I have never been very good at gauging distances. So I just have to spend a little bit of extra time to compensate for my lack of natural ability there. But that's all good. I think that looks about right. And I try to compare very closely for the spots that are really, really close to each other. So this thickness looks about the same here, so now I know that as long as I follow this, it should all be right. In theory. And this one I'll keep a little bit thinner. I actually think that level of thickness looks pretty good. Because he's just kind of a tiny little strand. And I don't think it makes sense for the tiny little strands to have the same thickness, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. But on the bright side, this is the last bit of hair! At least for this group. Still need to do the other group, and the other group is gonna be more of a thing. This one I had largely decided. The other one, oof. I have not started yet. Okay, how we doing? Go put the color back, I'll give her her face again. All that good stuff. And we'll go take a look. Yeah, I think that's about what I want. So very visible even when completely zoomed out, and I think it's looking pretty good. Oh man, I am looking forward to messing with the color on that. But that is exactly why I want to go into our next bit of hair and do this. Gonna invert the colors, and now it's time to go ahead and refine the lines here. I'm just gonna go ahead and hide a bunch of layers, just so I can see a little bit more easily. Just kinda separate out everything. I do think it makes it easier to see when I don't have to worry about anything else. I guess her hat is fine, though. So let me see. In terms of shape, I wanted to kind of mess with the shape here just a little bit. Where I kind of liked the idea of sending this up just a little bit more. So I'll mess with that before I start refining it as well. Make a cute little curl here. There we go. Gotta have proper cute little curls. Alright. Oh boy. Let's see, how do I want to tackle this? How do I want to tackle this? So, what I'm looking at right now is I'm gonna need to line this, and I'm wondering, do I want this line to go all the way underneath her hat, in theory? Like, should I be putting another outline all the way down here and, like, have it go up all the way there? I think that probably makes the most sense. I wouldn't want to do that on this layer, though. So... yes. No, I do not want to go back to the circle. Thank you. Does it just not like it when I hit spacebar? That is exactly what it is. Fascinating. So I hit spacebar in order to pan, and then it brings me back to layer 1 for some reason. Okay, well, that's good to know. That actually is really interesting. Okay. Alright, well, let's go ahead and make this nice. So this is where I need to define how her hair is curling and stuff too. I think I actually have a lot of that mapped out pretty well. Yeah, so for a lot of this, I think I can just go in and clean it up. And I get the feeling I will be refining parts of the outer shape a little bit as well as I go. I see, so you are actually part of this, huh? No? A little bit of both? I am wondering where the little line is, but it does not appear to be on any of my layers. How fascinating. You are mysterious. You are very mysterious. Where are you, line? You should not be there. Okay, it appears to be underneath the hair. But I already have all the body layers and stuff hidden. Are you just a random line on the circle that got put there because I got teleported all the way down when I wasn't expecting it? Oh, that's exactly what you are. Okay. Well, let's get rid of that. Okay. Now I think I should be able to draw in peace. Mystery is solved. I can go now. I'm pretty sure I already refined the edges here, so... You know, if I find some areas that are blurry, I'll go fix them when the time comes. But for now, I'm just gonna go in and draw. And indeed, it does look like there are a few areas I'm going to want to just refine a little bit. That's normal. This is the point where I start getting everything perfect, so it'll be exactly how I want it to be in the end. And right now, I'm just trying to get this curve of this part of the hair just perfect. Gotta have those cute little curls. They make the hair look so much fuller and nicer. And it's got a curve just right. Man, I am so looking forward to putting the rest of the color on this. I think it's gonna look really good. I already really like what I've done with the gradients and stuff. So being able to put in some of the final colors is just, oh, it's very exciting. I'm very excited. I think in general I'm just kind of easily excited. I get excited by silly things. I am quite excited. It's gonna be fantastic. I love the way this all looks already. And here I am, just sitting with all my layers hidden, with the hair inverted. So the colors are all wrong, and I'm still just looking at this like, oh yeah, this is perfect. This is gonna be great. Because I can kind of see it within my mind's eye. I can kind of see what it looks like. Sometimes the world inside my head is more beautiful than the world in reality. I kind of like to hang out there sometimes. It's pretty great. I highly recommend visiting if you can. Go look at all my pretty pictures. It's wonderful. Man, it was kind of nice working with the areas where I already had kind of refined it all. I just didn't like the width of my lines and had to adjust them accordingly. In fact, I want to put my lines back here. There we go, just so I can make sure that they are the correct width down here too. And right now they are a little bit thick. But yes, it was much easier working with the other group because I already had them relatively refined. I knew what to do. I just had to fix the issue that I didn't like. Namely that they were a little bit too thin. But now I'm back to a place where they're all messy and everything is wrong and I have to clean it all too. So everything is just a little bit harder. But it's alright. I have most of the hair defined already, so it shouldn't be too bad. I will just get rid of a lot of this, though. I don't think I can use most of these lines. They were necessary to verify my proof of concept before I went in, but now they're just kind of in the way. Alas, poor proof of concept lines. Thank you. Thank you for your service. If I feel like it, I might stream again later today, when I have a chance. Just because I have been wanting to work on this picture. We shall see if I have the time and energy for it. 50-50, because, like I said, I didn't get much sleep last night because some guys thought it was a good idea to launch fireworks. Just like, why? Why would you launch fireworks on a random day in June? When the days are almost at their longest and you have to go... You have to wait until most people are sleeping. Why can't you launch fireworks on a random day in December when it gets dark at 7 o'clock? I mean, I guess it wouldn't have helped me because I'm still in bed at 7 o'clock, but still. It's the principle of the thing, you know? Okay, this area is all confused. So let me make sure that I have this line very clearly defined. Yeah, I did like what I did up there where I added some smaller lines. I think that'll look really good when the time comes. But time's not yet. This is the time for getting all these little lines in there. The time-consuming time. where I just gotta do the thing. But I really do like it. I really, really love this style. I think it is fantastic. And I cannot wait to draw more stuff in this style. I also can't wait to find a version of this that I can maybe draw a little bit faster. Because I ultimately did develop the style so that I could use it for my comic, but right now I draw it way too slowly for that to be viable. So I'll probably end up only making things look like this for, like, particularly important scenes. I mean, it makes sense of just having the full illustrations for really important shots, and then faster ones for just talking and everything else. That tends to be how comics work, you know? But I just need to figure out what this looks like in faster drawing form. Because I don't yet. I have not yet figured that out. I mean, I haven't even completely figured out what it looks like in slow drawing form, so it makes sense. Gotta do one thing at a time. Ah, I see. So what I was doing is I had this strand kind of coming up here. Okay. That strand was coming up there, so there's just a bunch of confused lines through here. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of them for the time being. And I will untangle all those knots in a little while. Once it comes time to draw that part. Which, probably gonna be soon, actually. I'm really having to force myself not to rush here. Gotta take my time and make sure I get it all right. It's really tempting to rush sometimes, though, because I would really love to get into the rest of the colors and stuff. Because, man, even just my proof of concept experiments looked really good, so I really look forward to seeing what I can do when I actually go in and try, basically. When I'm not just doing something quick to see if I like it. But when I'm actually going in and making everything just perfect. And I am just looking forward to that. That is exactly why I'm making myself get all these lines out of the way. So that this way, when the time comes, I can just go in and have a great time, and I don't have to stop my momentum in order to come back and fix these things. Just all of this part will be done forever. Forever and ever and ever. And I will never have to think about it again. Until the next one I draw, I suppose. You can bet that I'll be drawing more stuff like this. I love it. I love it a lot. And I will always say I love it, because I think appreciating your own work is something not done enough within artist communities I've seen. Where everyone wants to kind of self-deprecate, and I think that's a shame. Have a good time. The art is great. Don't worry about it. And you know what? It's okay to say that you like your stuff. It really is. Does not make you arrogant. Alright, time to get this little baby strand. So I'm keeping the line super thin again. Super thin. I'm also wondering if I completely got the shape of this, because yeah, this is not quite right. I will have to clean that up, but I'll go ahead and finish the lines on the other side while I'm working on them. But yeah, that part is super blurry, and I hate the shape, so that is a sign that I'm gonna have to go back and fix him. And then I just have some spots out here that I kind of want to adjust the curve on just a touch. Make that curve just a little bit cuter. There we go. Gotta have those cute little curls. There is no compromising here. Only cute curls. Better make sure I have the right color there. I almost used the wrong one. That would have been very unfortunate. Do not want to have some green residue here when I go and switch the colors back. Because after all, though I'm using green to paint right now, this will become pink once I invert the colors back. I'm just using green because it's a little bit easier to see against the very, very pale pink I'm using for the lines here. I'm just gonna go ahead and erase all of this, I think. Ooh. Ooh. What happened there? Well, that's okay. I'll go ahead and just draw all this again and make sure that it is all very smooth. That everything is the way that I want it to be. I really like this strand, so I'm trying very hard not to touch it. So I will be kind of extending this guy in this direction. And that should be fine. That should be just fine. And I'll put a little bit more of my cute little curl here. Just cute little curl. Okay, it doesn't match up perfectly with the bottom side, but frankly, I think it's close enough that I don't have to go through and, like, redraw the top one in order to make this all look good. I think this is fine. Okay, back to the outline. Let's go. I guess there were a couple of spots that didn't get redrawn quite right, but that's honestly not that unusual. I typically miss a spot or two every time I do something. That is why it is important to go back over things. And why I check things. So I think I'm going to make the line here a little bit thinner, but not like the super thin ones that I use for just the little tiny guys. This one's a small guy, but maybe not a tiny guy. And this I'll clean up when it comes time to come through this strand and give him his outlines. For now, I will just go through here. Treat it all as one entity. It's a little bit easier that way. Then I can just kind of roughly erase there and all is well. One of the nice things about digital, you can erase all you want. You know what? I actually don't like the way this part is connecting. I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna give it a little path up here. This part is fine. I just didn't like this part. There we go. That's a little better. That's another nice thing about digital. I can change my mind as many times as I want. I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword, because sometimes I just keep trying something and it doesn't work quite the way I want, so I try something else, and I just keep going and going and going and can never quite settle on something. And thus, I end up taking a long time to draw something. Gotta be careful with digital, too. There's some sneaky traps. They're very sneaky. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I will clean up this part as I get to it. First, I need to drag this line all the way down there. Decided to get the ones a little further behind first, which I think is fine. I don't actually really think it matters what order I do that on, as long as I get all of it. But honestly, I'm just glad it looks like I'm gonna finish all of this today. Because, man. Hair, man. Anime hair, it's just... there's so much. There's always just so much hair. And I am never free from it. It'll always come back to haunt me. Every single time. And if I want it to look nice, which I do because, like hair is important. It's really important. I have to spend so long just getting it to look right. It feels like it takes an eternity. I'm starting to feel like my daughter when she's just like, but that'll take forever. It'll take forever. It's very cute. She's been drawing a lot lately too, just with crayons and paper. And she pretty much always will just draw a family, which to her is her little brother, with her little brother a little bit shorter than her. And then me and my husband, so you know, mommy and daddy. With daddy being taller than mommy. And then occasionally she'll draw her two grandpas and her grandma. Where all the grandparents are shorter than daddy but taller than mommy. And to her, this is what a family looks like. And I think it's very cute. She is adorable. She very rarely draws something else unless she's like in a coloring book and just coloring an existing picture. Always little families. I think that is very sweet. Alright, I think we have over there good now. So let's go ahead and line this little strand. I think it looks really good. I like this little strand. It makes me very happy. Maybe it sounds a little bit silly to say, but I just like this one. I think it's so nice. Sometimes the stars align and little strands just end up being something special. And it all just ends up looking very, very nice. So I will be sure to keep this strand as intact as I possibly can, even as other things move around. Alright, there we go. Okay, now I have to tackle this mess. It's like I just tamed over here, and now I'm looking over here, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and hide the outlines for a second and kinda fix all of this. I don't want to lose my outline color though, so I will tame it like this. So this is gonna do something like that. And remember, when I invert the colors back to normal, this will actually be the lighter color, and this will be the that I'm using now will actually be the darker color. I'm not worried about the gradient yet. It's not important. Everything is gonna be painted over with a solid color anyway. And I will add the gradient after, very carefully, probably with a selection tool. And now we make it cute. Make it nice and fluffy. And maybe a little loose strand coming out there. Yeah, I think that's pretty cute. I think that's cute. Okay, so I think I can be happy with that part now. Now let's clean up this little strand. I think he's savable, so I'll just go ahead and paint over him. I don't think I have to just kill it and redraw it. Okay, and you know what? These ones, they're a little bit blurry from when I messed with it before, so let's go ahead and make them all super nice. I could even perfect the shape a little bit too. Just where this dark spot is gonna go. I think I'll go ahead and fill in that gap too. I think it'll look better that way. And like I said, I'm not worried about salvaging the gradients or anything. It's not important. It's also not important to completely cover them up, so everything will just be filled in and changed once I have all of this done. But I am kind of keeping the balance of light and dark here because that is going to tell me where I need to put my lines. So I need a line kind of following this and following that and all that good stuff. So that part is actually important to keep track of. Okay, this one is not salvageable, so I'm gonna go ahead, take them out, and I will draw them again. See how much cuter they are now. So much cuter. I'm gonna make this one a little thicker. Okay, that seems pretty good. Alright. Let's go do outlines. Now that everything is fixed, it's outline time! And I cry internally. But it's okay. It looks good. So, I only cry a little bit. And in fact, a lot of this is going to have to be erased, just because I moved things around so much it's barely recognizable anymore. Most of this has to go. Let me see, we have this part here. And then we have this part coming up here. doing something like this, I think. And then it comes through like this, where we have this part. Oh, I should make your curve a little bit nicer here. Yeah. So we have this part kind of sitting on top. But maybe I want something like this, where this doesn't go all the way to the top, and instead just does something like this. I think that looks okay. In that case, do I want this line? I think it might look better without it. See, now I'm back in decision-making territory, so I have to think about things again. I think it'll look better like this. And then you can just be a little guy. So you'll get a thin line. Yeah, he's just a little guy. Maybe not a tiny one, so he'll get a line thicker than some of these guys. But it'll still be thinner than the main strands. And this way, this can kind of come up like... How exactly would you connect here? I'm gonna go mess with this a little bit more and find how I want it to sit. Would it be like this? Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, that was easy. That was quite easy. I'm happy. Okay, so before I go into that, I'd like to finish down here, though. I'd already started down here, so let's finish that before I move on to that clump up there. So here I'm kind of trying to define the shape of this little guy down here. And the shape of the strand sitting on top of it, more importantly. I'm trying to follow my curve very precisely. Okay, yeah, I think this is looking fantastic once more. I'm glad, because it was a huge mess when I got started. But now everything is coming together again. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, and, you know, even then, not even that much. I am very much looking forward to being done with this, though. So much! Foot is falling asleep. There you go. Rendering is just... It's very time-consuming. There's no way around it. It is definitely time-consuming. Especially rendering in a style that I am not used to yet. This is only the second thing I've drawn in this one. But I just love it so much. I really, really like the way my header image turned out. I was so happy when I was drawing that, because I just looked at it and I just... the glee when everything just came together. And it took me so long to figure out what to do with that one, and now I'm making further decisions and further refining the style, and I hope that at some point I will just be able to draw it quickly. Got a lot of practicing to do. It's alright, I can practice with all of you guys, right? Just keep doing my best. But man, look at this. Look how nice this looks so far. And I haven't even added a lot of the little details that exist in my head. So you're not even seeing like half of what I'm seeing. I look forward to showing it all to you. One of the best parts of art. I've never been great with words. So being able to just show you what exists inside my head. It's a wonderful feeling. Truly, it is an absolutely wonderful feeling. Because it's like when I draw a picture, I don't have to be good with words. You just look at it, and all makes sense. It all makes sense. Alright, we got a tiny little guy here, so let's just give him a tiny little outline. And then this will just come down like this, and I do like my little division here, even though I didn't plan for it to go all the way, but maybe I should. Let's take a look. Does it look better going all the way? Yes, actually. Now, if I were drawing a normal picture, I would have stopped it there. But I'm not drawing a normal picture. I'm drawing a stained glass inspired picture. So, that means we divide it. And it makes more sense. In kind of a weird way. But yes, this is how it should look. And these will be different colors. One of them will probably be dark with a light gradient, and the other one will be light with a dark gradient. Or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out when the time comes. Which is actually going to be soon. I am pretty sure I will be able to get my base colors down today. And depending on how hungry I get in the next 20 minutes, maybe even some of the gradients. I thought that I'd be way more out of it today, considering I got woken up by fireworks and thunder and other things and regular insomnia. But I'm actually feeling pretty alright. Art is great. Art always makes me feel better. I should draw more. I've just been trying to do a lot of other things too. I continue to wish that there were more hours in the day, and lament that I cannot do everything that I want. Ah, life is hard. Too many interesting things to do and not enough time. I don't like the way this little strand looks. I honestly might even just get rid of it entirely. I don't think I like it. I understand why I put it there, but I changed my mind. Okay, there we go. Last clump. You. I am dying perhaps slightly, but I think I'll be okay. I got this. It's almost there. It's almost there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get the outline around this light part first. For me, it kind of defines the structure of the entire thing. And then I'll go ahead and put lines everywhere else. This line is definitely too thick though, so I need to kind of tame it back just a bit. Like I'm comparing it over there, and I think a lot of these lines are honestly a little bit too thick. So I should probably clean that up before I go too much further. I am very determined to finish all the lines at least, though. Because once I have those, I think the rest will kind of come. Okay, so I think those are looking a bit better. Are they still too thick? Just comparing to what I have up here, it really does look really thick. Okay, I should go back over those then. I do keep saying it's important that I get them right, because I saw just how big of a difference the line thickness made when I was doing my experience at the beginning of the stream today. It made a huge difference. So I definitely want to make sure that everything is exactly as I want it. It's all very important. Okay, yep, this still looks fine. And I think this thickness better matches what I found to be good on my other bits of hair. So hopefully this will all match a little bit better, and everything is gonna look great once I zoom out. I will be so sad if it's too thick. I really will be, even if it's easy to fix. I just do what I'm doing now, just go back over it. It's not a big deal, but I will still be so sad. Because it's like, oh yes, I'm finally finished. Time to go look at how beautiful it is, and it's like, oh, the line is too thick. Or, I get this a lot when I'm flailing at proportions or something, and I'm like, ah, yes, I think I finally got it right. Flip canvas horizontal. Well, shoot. I sure don't. Well, shoot. It's okay, just gotta keep practicing. Just gotta keep practicing. I feel like I should do studies of some kind. I've just never particularly enjoyed doing studies, especially when I can just go and draw a new picture. About the only time I do studies is when I want to draw but don't know what to draw. At that point, I just go in and do a few studies. Like, I don't know what to draw, so let's just go to quick poses or something. Pick one and we'll draw that. Pick some other subject matter. Okay, we draw that. Nice. We practice posing. Don't know what to draw? Well, let's do weekly speed paints. I'll draw for an hour like every day. Do a speed paint, put up a video. It'll be great. And then once I do know what to draw again, I can do that. Although lately I haven't been drawing, I've been writing. Someday, I will wrangle the plot of my comic. And then I can start doing character designs. I've told myself that I can't do character designs until I have my outline kind of worked out. I want the structure of the story in there just in case there's anything important that I need to put on my character's designs. I don't want to have to do a bunch of redesigns after I've designed them. And I mean, it's possible that as I write, I might find something that I want to add to the design afterwards, and you know, that's fine. I think changing your mind is fine. But I want to set myself up for success and not have to do it like 5 times. That sounds pretty great. Let's get it like 90% right the first time. Preferably 100. But you know, if I run into something, I'm not gonna force myself to not change it. But I at least want to get to the point where I'm fairly confident that I don't want to change anything about them before I really get too deep into the designs. I have some stuff in my head, I've written some notes. Not gonna do anything more than that until the time is right. And besides, being able to design the characters is helping me stay motivated to work on the outline, so. That is working out too. Her hat is too light. We need to hide that too. Go away, hat. Alright. We only have hair. Only hair is real. My life is hair. Feels that way sometimes. Come on, I didn't even pan that time. Anyway. But I have gradually been wrangling the plot. It's... oh man, it's been a whole roller coaster of emotions, and just like, oh man, I finally figured it out! I'll be able to make so much progress now! And then, I just immediately trip over something or run face first into a wall, and I'm like, well shoot. And it keeps happening. It keeps happening! No, it's okay. I'm at the point where I can kind of believe in myself. Believe that someday I will actually be able to write this. I figure the first story is going to be the hardest. Because everything I've done up until now has been largely collaborative. Never really written something on my own. So I'm still trying to find a process that works for me. And I feel like I'm kind of feeling around in the dark, and it's hard. Hello there. What's that? Art anime list? That's quite a nickname. Let's see, this is a little bit blurry, so I'm gonna clean that up just a touch. And then I can carry on. I see, which one? I have quite a few. Oh, thank you very much. I am glad you enjoyed it. Alright, almost around the first part. Heck yeah. Almost there. This is actually the last strand. This is no longer my brain just coping. I am finally actually almost there. And then I'll be able to have some fun with color, and I am so looking forward to it. Just try not to make that line too thick. Because I feel like I've been doing that. Maybe not completely connected, but close. No, I changed my mind. I want it to be completely connected. Okay. It's like it's stained glass style, so I want more things to be connected. And this is another little guy, so he'll get just a little line. But I want to finish the rest of this one before I go ahead and add its little line. Tiny, tiny little line. Is it live somewhere else? No, I only stream on YouTube, if that's what you're referring to. But I do stream every day. So if you ever stop by here at about this time, I will probably be streaming. Although I will be streaming at a different time at some point. I'm not exactly sure when that'll be or what time that'll be yet, but my daughter is starting school, so I am having to kind of uproot my schedule in order to make everything work. Alright, we'll give this guy a tiny little line. Just a teeny tiny one. That'll be nice and thin. And even this I think might be too thick, but I'll start here. And kinda wrangle it into place with my eraser. Just kinda carve it out. Try to get a little bit more width consistency here. Nice. Yeah, you can show it to me on X/Twitter or whatever social media platform you prefer if you'd like. I'd love to see it. I see. Yes. Krita is a good program. I like it lots. I have had excellent luck with it. Alright, now I can go back to getting this little curve here. And now we got another tiny guy. So I'll go ahead and give him a tiny little line to suit his tiny little size. So this way the line doesn't completely devour it, it only eats it a little bit. And then I'll go back around through here. The line's still a little blobby through here. I can tell that it is very much not done. That's okay. Just gotta go through and make it nice. Actually, now that I look at it, this strand needs to be changed a little. There we go. That's a bit nicer. So now just fighting for the right thickness for all of this. And then I'll be free. Okay, yeah, I will check it out. No problem. Alright, I think this part is fine now, so I'll go ahead and give these tiny little strands their lines. Trying to keep them nice and thin. I do like the thin lines for the tiny strands. I think it suits them well. There we go. Now I just continue all the way around, and I think once I connect down there, give the tiny strands their lines, that will be it. And I will be free from the lines, and I can go do color for a little while until my body says, no, we must eat food immediately. Must eat food. Stomach demands it. Am I making games? Not on stream at the moment, but off stream I am indeed working on one with my husband. We're having a great time. It's still kind of in early stages, but I do plan on streaming some of that process when the time comes. So you'll be able to see me program in Godot at some point. But this is just a piece of fan art I'm drawing for fun. While I kind of try to figure out what I want to do stylistically for a comic that I am working on. Been having a pretty good time with that too. Unfortunately, in its current state, this is too slow to use for a comic. But you know, that's okay. I will figure out what to do with all this eventually. So at some point I will need to speed up my process, but for now, I'm just gonna have a relaxing time drawing a nice picture. Alright, I think that should be good. Let's go ahead and turn the color back and turn on all the layers. Because I had to turn, like, everything off so I could see well. Okay, that should do it. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I am so happy. I really like this. Oh man, she looks like she's glowing. It's wonderful. Alright, let's go do some colors. Let's see, I think I can at least get the bases down. We'll see how much more I want to do after that. So I'm gonna start with just... I'm gonna take off the highlights for now. I'm gonna start with just the middle color and the dark color. And I'll go fill in some things. Okay. So I'm gonna fill this entire area in with dark. Oh, I don't have it locked right now. I definitely want to do that. Yes, it would be very bad if I had the layer unlocked, because then I could color outside the lines, and I would be very sad when I found all these stray pixels in various places. Okay, this I will make light. Some parts of it will probably be dark, but I want the main color to be light. You I will make dark. So I'm just kind of deciding all of this roughly based on atmospheric perspective and... Well, no, actually the opposite of atmospheric perspective. But basically, the parts that I want to go further into the background, I'm making darker. And then I will have some darker color right underneath her hat. But I'm gonna put that in later. I'll let what's already there kind of stay there, but for the most part... Not gonna worry about it, and this part will become lighter once I add all the gradients and stuff and everything. This is just all the basics. Just gonna brush it all in, and oh, I see. There is a spot here. And that is because this spot used to be covered up by a different layer, but now it no longer is, so I need to make the line nice. Alright, and I also wanted this to continue up here. And I probably also want this to continue up here. There we go. Okay, back to what I was doing. Let's see, is there any that I want to be dark? I think I want this one to be dark too. Oh no, you're not supposed to be on outlines. think I got it. Hopefully. I think it's fine. Yeah. That one I'll keep light. This one I actually think I want to be dark, but with a gradient. So I'll make it dark for now and I'll lighten up the tips and a bunch of other places when the time comes. But I think this one will look better dark overall. Although, no, this one is sitting underneath it, isn't it? Well, whatever. I think this is correct, so I will roll with it. And if I am wrong, I will fix it later. No trouble at all. I can change my mind as many times as I want. The joy of digital. Okay. So now I'm gonna go up to my other hair layer and start doing something similar up here. No, I need you to be locked. There we go. So I'm gonna remove all the gradients. As I mentioned, those were all just there for testing, and I want to be a little bit more precise for the real thing. So I'll just go ahead and brush in my base colors here. Most of it already decided for me, which is nice. Past me made some very good choices. I appreciate it. And this one I actually think I'm going to make a little bit darker. This one's special. Alright. So up here I'll use a gradient to make dark, but otherwise I think I'm going to keep it light. And then there are some spots on the base hair, like right here, that needs to be dark. I'll grab those in a sec. I think I'll make this one dark. But the rest, I think, are good. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to my original hair layer. I'm gonna go grab my really dark color. And I am going to define where the edge of her hat is here. So basically where the shadow of the hat lies on her hair. And I'm gonna do that before I do highlights. If I want to. I could probably do them in either order, but I like focusing on shadows before I do highlights, as a matter of taste. Alright, that seems pretty okay. Do I have a stray pixel here? I did. It's okay, this is the point where I need to start eliminating all those stray pixels too. They all need to go away. Okay, I think that looks pretty good, and I have one decision left to make. Do I wish to put an outline around this shadow? Let me just do a quickie. I should probably do this on another layer, but since I'm doing it in one stroke, it should be okay. I think I like it enough that it is worth trying. I'm going to do something a little bit cleaner. It's going to be a little bit thinner than the rest of the lines here. So I guess I am back to doing a few more lines. It's okay. It is all good. I knew this kind of thing would happen. It always does. This is the joy of being able to just try something and put it on a new layer. This way I can turn it on and off, I can compare, and if I mess it up, I am not interfering with everything I just drew. So it is totally safe. Alright, and how am I gonna do this? Can I get away with just putting it right here? Looks like I can. Awesome. I get to be lazy. Alright, how's it look? On, off. On, off. On is definitely superior. Okay. Okay. And now I'm gonna go back and do my light color. So I just have a few strands that are a little bit lighter than the others. And I think it looks nice. But yeah, I like it. I like the outline on the shadow. It contributes more to the kind of the stained glass look that I'm going for. Doesn't explicitly make sense, but it doesn't have to. Anime is cool like that. You can do whatever you want and it's fine. So I'll go ahead and brush in some stuff with my lighter color. And I'll do that on the other bit of hair, and I think next up we'll be trying some gradients. That is also very exciting. I'm just excited about everything today, you know? Life is always very exciting. Just gotta open your heart to all the exciting possibilities. And things will be just a little bit more fantastic. Alright, looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and put the lighter spots up on my other hair and teleport down to circle because I cannot help but pan after I picked my layer. I think I'm gonna make this one lighter. This one is like the main one, so he will get to be a little bit lighter than the rest. And then I think I want some stuff over here to be a little bit lighter too. Which might result in a new line somewhere. So I think I'll have to go in and draw that, but... Well, first things first. Gotta finish this one. Because what I think I want to do is I think I want the edge here to be lighter. which means that where I want it to stop, which I think is gonna be like right here, like this, I want there to be a line around it. So let's do that. I think that will look great. I'm already very excited to do it. I know that my somewhat deadpan voice does not always make me sound excited, but I am always very excited. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, I think I've got some gradients in me. I'm feeling it. Let's do it. Let's make everything just awesome. Okay, so the advantage that I have right now is that because I have everything clearly separated with my outlines here, is I can just kind of select a portion, get my big ol' airbrush, pick my color, and just lightly brush in things. Yes. Oh wait, I did that on the wrong layer. Yes, doing it on the right layer is recommended. That seems like a good idea. Let's try that again. So I just kind of lightly brushed in like that. And I do that for each section that I want to have a gradient on. So for you, I want to have the normal color. Kind of all the way up here. Yes. Oh man, look at that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? I love it. I love it so much. And I will just be repeating this process until I am satisfied. And it's so easy too, because I can just select the continuous area that I want and all is well. All is so well. And I don't even have to worry about going outside the lines or anything. As long as I'm careful, everything is fine. And it really does look very stained glass-like. I like it. I like it lots. This is wonderful. This is one thing I don't think I did enough with the one that I did for the header for the channel. Just adding gradients here and there. Just add a little bit more dimension in certain places. I did put that in the right layer, right? Oh shoot, I didn't. Okay, I have to go back. I really do not want my gradients to be on my line layer. Very important that it be on the hair layer. I gotta be careful. Gotta be very careful. So I want to be able to edit those lines as I see fit. And if I have things on the wrong layers, that's gonna become a lot more difficult. I do not have a continuous area for you, huh? Oh, that's fine. I think just doing this much will be okay. 'Cause I just want a little tiny bit of lightness by the side of her face. Okay, I think that'll look pretty good once I add the rest of the details, like I still have her hair highlights off, for example. gonna need to put those back on. I don't think that these ones are in the right place, so I'm just gonna redraw them from scratch. But that may not happen today. For now, gonna go to more Hair World and do the same thing. Oh man. Yeah, that's right. None of this is a continuous area, is it? Okay, so I might have a slightly harder time here. I will just put my selection around my lines then. And hopefully that'll be enough for my purposes. Unfortunately, I am extremely imprecise with the selection tool, so I do not have a steady hand. Something I gotta work on, really. Okay, but I think some of these have a continuous area. Like, I think this one I can select easy. Yeah. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Okay. Oh shoot, I put that in the wrong layer again. I gotta stop doing that. Gotta stop doing that. It's gonna be bad if I don't notice it. Okay. All is well. As long as I keep noticing it, it'll be okay. But I would rather have myself in a situation where I don't have to notice it. And I just get it right the first time. That would be wonderful. Let me see, do you have a good area? Nope, sure don't. Okay. So in that case, I will carefully go around this outline where applicable. There we go, and brush in the colors that I want. I would like a little bit of light color here. And then down here on this guy, I would like a little bit of dark color. Nope. Wrong layer. At least I have to switch back to this layer every time I want to select a new one. So I notice pretty quickly when I do it on the wrong one. Very fortunately for me. Because it keeps happening. It keeps happening. So I'll just go back and forth between some of these until I am satisfied. Satisfied with the kind of colors I got. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and turn her hair highlights on even though they're in the wrong place. I'm not sure if I feel like drawing them right now. But yeah, I feel like this is like 90% of hair done. So what I have left to do on it, I think that, yeah, I'm probably gonna stop for today. Big stretch. Alright. So what's left on hair? I have the highlights, which I will also want to put lines around. So I have some more lines to draw. And then I want to put in some small details. Like just little extra lines for extra hair and a little bit of texture, and I think that'll make it look pretty nice. But I mean, I think even this looks pretty good just as it is. I'm very excited to continue working on it. Hair is probably the most time-consuming part of the entire process for me. Unless I'm drawing myself, which I would not exactly call my hair. It's different. But yes, when I'm drawing a character, the hair generally takes the longest. So the fact that I am almost done with it is very exciting. I really want to work on it more, but I am hungry. So I should probably stop. But if I'm feeling up to it, maybe I'll do some more later today. I will, in theory, have the time. Because my kids are going to go hang out with their grandpa, in theory. Alright, so I think this is where I will stop for today, so thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.